Good evening. Oh, it's nice to be indoors. It's lovely to be outdoors on a gorgeous day like today, but it's nice to just have a half an hour to just cool off a little bit. I'm a bit like a lobster. I was crazy enough to go running at about 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and I've burnt my shoulders, so I'm a bit tender, let's say, back of the neck. Anyway, that's my problem, not yours this evening. So we will have, I think, to reflect the kind of heat and humidity, I think we'll have a nice chilled one. So we'll start off on the floor and see where we go from there. So if you're new to the session and you're not really sure what to expect, it's just very slow, very controlled movement. So we're working our core muscles the majority of the time, but we do work other joints and muscles as well. So I always demonstrate the least intense options, and then I work my way up in terms of progressions if there's more than one level for exercise, each exercise, which there is for most of them. So we'll have a lie down on our backs. If you need to stop any of the exercises at any time, then feel free to do that. So we're going to just get ourselves comfortable on the floor. I'm just going to relax our arms on the floor by our sides. So you can take them wide or have them next to you, whatever's comfortable. Okay, so the feet and the knees are hip width. We have a little space between the lower back and the floor. You should be able to just about slide your hand in there, but there shouldn't be a huge gap so that you can move your hand up and down freely. Okay, so shoulders are down and away from our ears, and we're looking up to the ceiling. We're going to mobilise the lower half of the body first. So we're taking a breath in, and then on the out breath, we're just going to slide the heel along the floor. And then we're going to inhale as we return. And then we go again. So we exhale, slide away. Inhale as you return. So the heel stays on the floor for the duration of the exercise. So we're just going to do one more on this leg. We'll keep a slight bend at the knee, and then we're maintaining stability in the hips and the pelvis. Okay, so we're going to switch on to the other leg when you're ready. So we breathe out, we slide the heel along the floor. Inhale as we return. That's our last one. It's going to roll over onto our sides now. We're just going to bring our heels up towards us. We're going to do supine rotation. Lovely, lovely exercise for the spine, this one. So we're taking a breath in, and then as we breathe out, we slowly twist. Taking our arm around behind us, and then we inhale as we return. So we try and keep the legs really still, keeping the knees and feet together. Don't worry if your arm doesn't make it all the way to the floor behind you. Just do what you can. Keep watching those fingertips. As you do your exercises, I'd just like you to gently squeeze your belly button towards your spine. So we just always have a little contraction in the stomach muscles that we can maintain while we move. Focus on breath as well. So as we move away, we breathe out through the mouth. And as we return, we breathe in through the nose. Okay, so we're going to, when you've done the one you're doing, Just going to roll over onto the other side. And we just repeat the same exercise. So again, we're keeping the legs still. Okay, we're making that one our last one, and then we're rolling back onto our backs. Okay, so we're bringing our feet and knees back in line with our hips. We're relaxing our arms by our sides. We take a breath in, and then as we breathe out, we're just going to take one arm over past the head and rotate the shoulder so your thumb touches the floor. Inhale as you switch. So we're getting that rotation through the shoulder, leading with the thumb. If you can't touch the floor with your thumb, if it doesn't get there, don't worry, just do what you can. Our last one, and then we'll move into the main session. Okay, so I think we'll bring ourselves up to seated position, and we're going to do an exercise that works the stomach muscles, but it also works the oblique muscles. It does involve combining two moves together. So if you struggle with the rotation aspect, if you've got any niggles with your spine where twisting is a no-no for you, then just do a roll up. So I'll show you what I mean in a sec. Okay, so I'll kind of start off with this one, doing the option that most people do, and then I'll show you a less intense option. So I'll kind of do it the other way around to what I normally do in terms of teaching progressions. So we sit up tall, and we start off by inhaling and tilting the pelvis, curving through the spine, and then we breathe out. We carry on going as far as we can. When we feel the need to change direction, we breathe in, and then we breathe out as we sit up tall. Then we take a little fold of the arms, we inhale, we tilt and we curve again, but this time on the exhale, as well as travelling downwards, we add rotation. Then we inhale, we come upwards and back to centre, and then we exhale back up at the top. Then we do another roll up in the centre. And then we do our oblique roll on the other side to the one we did earlier. So you're inhaling, and then as you exhale, you slowly twist as well as travel down. Inhale, come upwards and back to centre, and then exhale. So we're always getting that nice upright posture at the end of both of those moves. If any of you struggle with the twisting, then you can roll up. So you'll just continuously roll down towards the floor and then bring yourself back to that upright posture again. If any of you want to increase the intensity of the roll-up aspect of it, then you can slowly bring yourself all the way down to the floor and then all the way back up again. Just making sure that there's no jerking in the movement, no pulling, no bouncing. It's smooth all the way down and all the way up. And just to bear in mind as well, if you're restricting your range of movement to make it easier, that's fine. But just bear in mind that when you do your oblique roll, that if you're only going part way down, you'll only twist ever so slightly. Okay, so how far you twist is relative to how far you get towards the floor. Hopefully that makes sense. And also, one other thing that you can do to increase the intensity is have your legs flat on the floor. So keep gently squeezing through the stomach muscles, keep those engaged. We're going to do one more on each side. I'll just keep going until you've done the same amount on both sides, because I did break off, didn't I, just to show you a couple of variations. So when you've done those last couple, I'll just give you a moment. We will just be placing one hand to the floor. So if your right hand's on the floor, you'll take your right hand over, so you'll stretch over. So I'll just give you a view from the front. So one hand to floor and then stretch over. And of course we'll do that one on both sides. Okay, so we're going to do an exercise now called rolling back. So this one is really lovely for mobility of the lumbar section of the spine. So less control involved and a bit more momentum with this one. So I'll show you your options and you can get going when you've seen the one you're going to do. So for level one, we place our hands either side of the hips. As we inhale, we tilt the pelvis, so we're getting that curve into the spine that we've just been doing, and we roll back. And then we exhale, we come back up. Inhale, tilt, curve, roll back. Exhale up. So if you're going to progress, your hands there are basically there to give you a little push back up if you get stuck. If you don't need your hands to help you, then you can place them on the shins or at the backs of the thighs. And it's the same, so you're just rolling back. It is a really lovely one for the spine once you get into it. And then for level 3, a continuation of working the stomach muscles as well as getting the spine mobility. You use your stomach muscles, so you contract the stomach muscles to stop the feet coming to the floor. You can't see there, can you? But my heels are that high there. Okay, so I'll shuffle back a bit so that you can see. I'll probably not be able to do this one. Inhale and exhale. So then the heels are just slightly off the floor. You squeeze those stomach muscles to stabilise you. If you can't get along with that one, not everybody can, if you've got any issues with your spine, then your alternative is to come up onto your hands and do a cat stretch. So you're on your hands and knees, tabletop position. You take a breath in, and then on the out breath, you tuck your pelvis under, roll up through your spine, tuck your chin in. Inhale, give me a deep breath in there, and then as you exhale, you release. So we inhale and exhale, and then we inhale and exhale. So you just keep going whichever you're doing. I just need some water. Okay, just one more there. Excellent work. So we're going to come back down onto our backs now. And we are going to do, I think we'll do the one leg stretch. We did this in the warm-up where we just had a little slide of the heel along the floor. But I'm going to give you 3 alternative options, more intense options. Okay, so same as earlier, for level 1 we'll take a deep breath in, and then on the out breath we'll just slide the heel along the floor, and then we inhale as we return, again just keeping that slight flexion in the knee. To progress we take a breath in, and then on the out breath we raise the knee. So that's your start and finish point. We take a breath in, and then as we breathe out we extend the leg away, point the toes to the ceiling, inhale as we return, exhale, extend away, inhale, return. So levels 1 and 2, just keep going until I ask you to change legs, or if you need to before I ask you to, that's absolutely fine, go ahead. Level 3, knees above the hips, we breathe in, and then on the out breath, take away, inhale, return, and onto the other leg. So we're alternating from one leg to the other. So just be very aware, if you've got both of your legs in the air, it does have a tendency to make you arch your back a little bit, so just be pushing against that by contracting those stomach muscles. And then your level 4 is with your head, shoulders, arms off the floor. So I always advise to do the level that you can do with good technique. You're in really good control, but you're actually feeling those muscles working. So again, just do what you can. You can bring your head back down to the floor, or you can alternate legs, or have one foot on the floor. So levels 1 and 2, you can switch over onto the other side. Make sure that you're not letting the knees pull back above the stomach, so they stop above your knee, or above your hips. Nicely done, well done. Okay, so we're going to bring the feet down one at a time if you have both your legs up, and then we're just going to come into a full body stretch. My favourite next, shoulder bridge. So we're bringing the heels in, nice and close. So we've got abdominals back, feel it in your glutes and your hamstrings, maybe a little bit in your quads as well. So we will start off with the least intense option. So bring those heels in nice and close, but keep the feet and knees hip width. So we take a breath in, we tilt the pelvis, we push the lower back into the floor. So we're closing up that little space that we set up at the beginning. And then on the out breath, we're lifting one vertebrae at a time, and then we inhale, we slowly lower ourselves back down, and exhale back into neutral spine. So we breathe in, and we breathe out, and we breathe in, and we breathe out. The progression, if you want it, is to inhale and exhale. Inhale as your arms go overhead. Exhale as you bring your hands back to the floor, and then inhale and exhale as you slowly release. So I'll go through that one again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale exhale, inhale, and exhale. So we have another option for you, which is, with this one I just recommend you have your palms up, and then you know that you're not pushing your body weight into your arms and cheating. So the palms are up, we breathe in, we tilt, we breathe out, we come up. Now we keep one foot on the floor, inhale, bring the knee above the hip, exhale, drive the leg away, inhale, bring the knee back above the hip, and then exhale. And then switch sides, inhale, exhale. So it's up to you. What you could do is perhaps do one on each side and then slowly come down, so you're getting the mobility benefit. But if you do want to work more on strength, then you can just keep your hips up and you can keep alternating from one leg to the other. So that's completely up to you if you want to do that. You'll feel that a lot more into your glutes. Make sure your hips are not dropping towards the floor. So if you can't maintain the height of the hips while your legs are moving, then just bring it back to a previous level. Try and keep your knees steady as you can as you come up and down. Try not to let them wobble. A couple more. And when you're done, just bring your knees in towards you for your release stretch. We're going to bring our feet down to the floor. And we're going to do the double leg stretch, so abdominals and back strength with this one. So we're going to bring the arms by our sides, breathe in, and then on the out breath, the arms float up. Once the fingertips are up to the ceiling, and then just turn the palms in towards each other. So we take a breath in there, and then on the out breath, we circle our arms, keeping our shoulder blades down. Inhale as we return towards the body. For the progression to level 2, it's simply a case of just raising one knee above the hip. For the progression to level 3 should I say, it's both knees above hips. So level 2 is one leg raised, level 3 is two legs raised. And then level 4 is with your head and your shoulders off the floor. So whichever level you're doing, if you make your circles larger, you will increase the intensity of that level. If you need to reduce the intensity, then you'll just make your circles smaller. And again, just be aware, especially if you've got both of your legs raised, just be aware of that lower back, making sure it's not arching. Maintain that lovely neutral spine. Okay, we're going to finish the circle that we're doing, and then we're going to change direction. we're just going to do one more circle. And then we're going to bring our feet down to the floor. And we're going to extend into full body stretch. So we're going to roll over onto our stomachs now, and we're going to do the swan dive. So great one for the back, I never miss this one out. So we're strengthening the muscles that run all up the spine, that surround the spine. Helps us with our posture and helps to reduce the likelihood of back problems. So we're bringing our arms, elbows to shoulder height. Keep pulling the tummy in, so it's very easy to just forget and into the floor. So just keep that little contraction there. So we take a breath in, the chin tucks in, and then on the out breath we lift the head and the shoulders, top of the chest from the floor, and then we inhale as we slowly release. And then we go again, so we breathe out as we come away from the floor, breathe in as we lower. To progress, you can let your arms lift from the floor as well. So again, we'll just keep our eyes looking down at the mat. Chin tucks in so we keep healthy alignment of the head with the neck and the rest of the spine. And then your third option is to have your arms extended so the arms are just straight out in front of you. And then the hands and the head, shoulders and chest all lift together, inhaling as you come back down. Just a little point to make sure that you're not squeezing your bum and lifting your feet off the floor. So that will use more of your glutes and your hamstrings and take away from the back. So the back is where we want to focus here and get the most benefit. Okay, so just going to sit back now over our heels. Just take a release stretch. I'm just going to bring the arms next to the legs. If you can't kneel, then you can roll onto your side and just hook your knees up towards you as an alternative. Okay, well, we're just going to bring ourselves to sitting position. So I hope you found that quite nice and relaxing. I know my body definitely needed that this evening. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can go and enjoy the sunshine now. And what I said in my post before the session, make sure you make your way to the fridge first, get yourself something nice to drink. So thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it, especially on such a lovely evening. I know there's plenty of other things you'd probably rather have done, but it's much appreciated. So I shall see you tomorrow. If you're joining me tomorrow at 5 o'clock, it's circuit. So I shall see you then. Enjoy your evening. Thank you, everyone.